Always happy. Hey, everyone. It is your girl, Coach Perry, your mental coach, mental health, mental wellness, mental performance. I got you. But it is Wellness Wednesday. Yes, Wellness Wednesday coming in to speak with you guys each and every Wednesday. Um, have it set for 7 p.m. But as we know, just jumping in from another meeting plus coming in the house and running. But I had to come on. Mental health is something that is dear to my heart. If you guys are following me on Facebook, Instagram, anything of that nature, TikTok, it's Coach Perry Speaks, and you understand and know speaking about mental health is very vital to me. And so one of the biggest things is mental health. We jump into that. I always like to be transparent. Hello. If you are joining in, this is being live streamed, so they may ask you permission if you want to comment, but please do so. Comment, like, share, put it out there. But when I first started, I always like to start to be transparent because sometimes feel like the big topic about mental health can be very vague and kind of be scary to some people. But one of the biggest things, just get on here. As you guys see, I was just so optimistic about coming on because I was like, man, the glare in my glasses, you can see through my glasses and all that. But that's part of just that fear when you're trying to do something great and the anxiety that'll set you off until, like, you don't want to do it. And this year, 2023, is my go all in year. And I'm here to help you go all in too. One of the biggest things that I know and I believe is to help someone, you have to be a blessing. And me doing this is being a blessing to help someone because people had to bless and help me as well. So I want to continue out, going into this year with a bang, just blessing you guys, giving you information and making it comfortable to talk about mental health. So many people bash away from it, especially athletes. I'm dearly targeting the athletes because it's so vague that mental health has been on that horizon for years. As many know, I played a variety of sports growing up. Was able to go to college on a collegiate scholarship playing sports and coach for over 10 and a half years. So I understand and I know, and I've been in that process, what it takes of understanding that depression is real. Anxiety is real. These are things that are happening daily, but people are afraid to reach out and speak on it. And so that's why I'm here. I believe it's my duty and my job to speak on that. But as well as a human being, I have experienced that. Having depression, I've had it. Had a suicide thoughts, I've had it. Feeling down, feeling like I don't belong and no one care, I have it. As a sports player, feeling like I don't fit in, feeling like, I'm overwhelmed by my skills and not at the next level of another player. All those things I've had it, as a youth and as adult. So now as an adult, I still question about some things, but I'm working on it. And I'm saying this because I want to be real with you guys. So many people don't want to speak about it. But the overall gist tonight was to come in and talk about why are we so afraid to talk about these things? Why are we so afraid to talk about that word, mental health? And for me and a couple of colleagues and people that I've worked around, once again, with my background, master's in psychology, social work, mental health specialist, advocate, all that, you name it. I have it. And I was just talking to a young lady earlier today that said, even though I have all these accolades, the biggest things that help me and make me relate and indulge in people is the life that I live. Like real life actions of experiencing these things have helped me to be able to spread the word to so many people and be that blessing. But I really believe, and I want you guys to, your thoughts or comments drop in there. But I really believe a big thing comes about when background, our family, our friends, and how we was raised. If a lot of you guys like me, I was raised in a Baptist home, a Christian home, so it was pray about it, talk to the Lord about it, the Lord got you. And truly enough, He is the Almighty. He has us, and that is a big thing. But also, God give us common sense. I seen somebody with a shirt that actually said therapy and Jesus, because you can't have one without the other. I per se and say that because you have to have that common sense because God gave you that common sense to be able to reach out and get people, and He developed people to go to school and have that mindset to be able to help you because He knows just alone you cannot do it. So that's why I want to talk about, like, when are we going to drop that baggage of what our family and friends believe and think of us or belittle us because we say that, hey, I'm not feeling well, I have a problem with something that's going on with me. And then you get those words, or You crazy, something wrong, you don't need that, why you're not praying about it, you're overdoing it, you're thinking too much. And now you're conflicting because you're around and surrounded by people that you can't feel vulnerable, let your feelings out because you're fear of being judged. And that's a big thing with the athletes. Huge athletes fear that, they're going to be judged, or they're going to be limited playtime, or no one's going to want them on their team because they said that they may have a health issue. But my focus is always pushing mental wellness so you can actually relieve those things so it won't be mental health. And I wanted to bring that in because, you hear mental health, you hear mental wellness. For ones that don't know, mental health is your psychological, your sociological and emotional well-being of how you feel. So that's based on how you think, feel, and you act and react to different things of that nature. But your mental wellness is the things that you need to keep you well enough so your mental health is in a positive state. So with me, a lot of things that I focus on with my student athletes, because I do have Elevate Sports and Wellness. And what I do with them, I focus on things like visualization. Excuse me, guys, I get so excited when I'm talking about this, but visualization is one of them, again, being prepared. And that's prepared for failure or success, because actually they intertwine. If you don't have failure, you don't know what success is. So you got to have both of them. So helping you to understand that it's okay. And that was a big thing with me of not really understanding failure. But now I embrace failure. I embrace learning. So I don't even look at it as failure. And that's another thing, growing up too, that we have to replace the words and how we see things and how we visualize things. Because unfortunately, us don't want to tell lie, parents and grandparents, they're wrong. But a lot of things they said and a lot of things they did was wrong. The words they said that we should be afraid of and the things that we should do was wrong. And it's okay, because they only gave us information on things that they was based and they was taught. So they can only relate to us based on those things. So it's okay. But it's up to you as that young teen, as that adult, to learn new ways and be better than your parents. And I say that in a great way, because if many, like my parents, will always say, hey, I want you to be better than me. I want you to be greater than me. I want you to get more education to me. Than me. I want you to do more things that I did. I want you to actually view the world. So our parents and our grandparents and our caregivers, they want that. So, but we have to be willing to step outside and say, you know what? I'm going to learn this myself. I'm going to look this up myself. I'm going to study myself. And that was something I did. I wanted to know more information. I've always been that studious person that if you tell me something, I'm going to go look for it and make sure that what you told me or what you provided to me was correct. And if it wasn't correct, I'm going to get that information. I'm going to come back to you with it. Nothing in a malicious or disrespectful way. It's just that I want to make sure I'm proficient when I'm talking to people and talking about things. And being that social work was something I started off in, dealing with the psychology, and upon those things, it just explored me of how the mind think and how we feel and how we react to so many different things. That's why I said, hey, I got to do more in that mental health field, because so many people shy away with it. No one wants to talk about it. Our parents say, what goes on in this house? Yeah, I just wanted you to say it stays in this house. So we're all collective, a lot of us with that. So because of that, we are scared to talk about it. We're scared to tell people something is going wrong with us. We're scared to tell people that we're having these mass thoughts. We're scared to tell people that we're feeling isolated, that we don't want to go around other people, that, other than work and coming back home, that's it. Because some of us may be suffering with what is called social anxiety, because you're not really used to being around people because of things that have been said within your family. So now we don't know how to handle or relate to people when this subject pops up or start talking. And I know that for certain, because I usually just bring it up in certain situations and places with different people just to see how they're going to respond. And usually when that mental health come up or mental illness, people like, man, that ain't me. That ain't something I really want to talk about. I don't want to be a part of that. Nah, I go to church, I pray, I'm good on it, I gotta do what I gotta do, but I'm good. And that's because we're afraid to talk about it. We're afraid because we don't have the guidance or the direction from people saying that it's okay. Like people have told you all the time growing up, go get a job, provide for your family. We say, okay, you can hear that. Go get a job, make a better life. Okay. But also when the things and situations start hitting at your job and you're feeling overwhelmed, what do people say then? Continue to work, it's going to get better. We're never stop and think and say, maybe you should first thinking about going get a therapist or someone you can talk to. Make sure you feel vulnerable, let people know that when this job is getting overwhelmed, you have the ability to express yourself and tell your supervisor or your boss. When this game is getting overwhelmed or practice is getting overwhelmed, or you feel like you don't fit in, you're able and you're okay with going and telling your coach instead of your coach saying that, hey, just get back in line and keep fighting it out. And you're saying, I'm doing all that I can because I know myself. I'm pushing myself, but I just don't feel well. Every day at practice, it seems like I'm getting a step farther back and back because nobody's talking to me. Everybody only wants to know is how many points I scored. Everybody only want to know if we won. So now I'm in that state of afraid to even talk about a problem, situation, issue I may be going on because people are going to see it as though I'm complaining or I'm making excuses. Or I really don't want people to know what's really going on with me because I know if I do that, then I get the bullying too. So many situations are why we shy away from not talking about mental health. But the thing is, that is one of the most important priority things that we need to be willing, okay, to do is talk about mental health. Because once you start having those open conversations, it allow yourself the freedom to believe and be that you are okay with being just who you are. Because a lot of people feel like it's an out of body if something is going wrong with them. But it's natural, it's human. We all have some situations or problems. It's just how we deal with it. It's how we express ourselves. It's how, we look at other people and situations from social media and we think, okay, the way to express their self was to not to tell anyone. And then we hear about the suicides. We hear about the murders and everything because we're depicting off what other people have told us and what they believe instead of getting around groups and situations and people that feel that it's okay to talk about those and express those. I don't know about other people, but me, I get excited about it. I love my group, my small circle that I do have. We actually take time and just ask each other, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on? When so many people are jumping on the phone talking about this and that. Yes, we talk about other things as business and etc. But we always take that time and just say, how are you? And that's something that I have devoted also to people, just calling and checking on that. You guys probably seeing some of my posts. I'm always doing it, just checking on how are you feeling? Are you okay? Are you doing well? Because you never know what people are struggling with. So many people wear masks, and our mask was built through childhood. So we don't know how to express ourselves because the only thing we know is that mask. Kind of like a costume when, you have those little babies and they're just crying and hollering because they're so excited to get this costume and they don't want to take it off because it's their favorite. And we begin as young adults and adults too, that mask is our favorite mask. Feeling okay is our favorite mask. Telling people we're all right is our favorite mask. Not willing to express ourselves is our favorite mask. Not going to therapy, telling people that nothing is wrong when we know we're dying and we're crying in the inside. That's our favorite mask. Because nobody told us that this is just a temporary mask. I bought you this costume for this time right here. But when you take it off, people actually see the true you. You're wearing this for Halloween, but you can't wear it every day. There's no way you can wear it every day. It's not suitable every day. Things is going to happen every day. This won't go where you go. So you have to take it off. And that's the same logistic thing. We have to take that mask off. We got to be vulnerable and willing to talk about ourselves. And for some of you saying, well, I just don't want to talk to everybody. It's okay. I understand it. That's what I'm saying. It may be that you're okay and you're willing and you're vulnerable. Get that therapist. Get somebody that you can talk to. Get that one-on-one. Get somebody that don't know you so you may feel comfortable. But I'm also going to say, too, check your surrounding and your circle. Because if you're in that area in your life where you have people and things and situations and circles around you where you feel like you can't talk about what's going on, maybe you're in the wrong circle. You're in the wrong circle. You need to get around people that is okay with listening and being that listening ear and also providing some form of help or support to you. Because what's going to happen is now you'll continue to wear that mask. Because every time you go around that friend, that, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you got to have that mask up. And it's constantly tearing and eating you up because you got that mask on. But you want that person to say, hey, I know you're not feeling well. Let's sit down and talk. How can I be of help to you? How can I be a blessing to you? Or how can we help each other? Because believe it or not, a lot of times in your circle, even though you guys are doing well, you guys have so many similarities when it comes to that mental aspect. If you just take time and ask them how they're feeling or how things been going, or you start, leveling out, getting your information out. If you're upon the right circle, they're going to say, you know what, I felt that before, I'm feeling it now, or I'm going through it. And for many, my homeboy now, every time I talk to him, I call him, we're always able to, go back and forth with each other about different things. And usually, he'll come and we say, you know what, Coach, I gone through that. Coach, I grew through that. This is how I did it. And this is how I got over it. And that's the same thing me with him. He called, and that's just not my male friend, my female friends also as well. One of my close best friends, we had to talk like, I think 3 or 4 days. I mean, it was early in the morning. It was like 6 something in the morning. We called, and it was just like, hey, yo, I'm going through some things. I need to talk to someone. Most friends would be like, oh my gosh, something wrong is going on. I was like, no, let me embrace it. I'm glad you're speaking to someone. I'm glad you're talking to someone. What are the things you're going through? Have you reached out for help? Because I know some of you probably be saying, well, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, I don't have that background. You don't have to have a background to be a support system and help someone. Your support system can be just that listening ear and checking on them. Your support system can be saying, I don't know what you're going through, but I can help direct you to some people. I don't know what you're going through, but if you ever want to take a walk somewhere, I'm here for you. I don't know what you're going through, but if you ever would just want to go out and get lunch or something, I'm here for you. I don't know what you're going through, but if you want me to pray with you, I got you. And those are the voices that we all need to hear. Those are the people that we want in our corner. Those are the people that we want in our circle. We have to be ready for those things. And I mean, ready by that, that means open yourself up to understand that you are human. And with being a human, things happen. With being a human, you're going to feel down. With being a human, stuff is going to happen. It's going to be out of your control. People are going to come in and out your life that's going to do some things to you, and it's going to make you very angry and disappointed. But how do you handle those things? That's when we get to mental wellness. Learning yourself. Learning positive talk. Learning affirmations. Learning visualization and being able to look at the brighter side of things. I know that was one of the great things too. Talked to one of my friends this morning. We speaking about a couple of things. Had a Zoom call, and once again, I'm human. We're on this call, and we had another call coming up. And when that message came in, I'm like, oh my gosh, what they about to say? And the thing that he gave me, and I'm going to pass on to you guys because I want to push it at 2023. He said it's going to be a great call. And I was like, man, we know these people. You know usually what they want to talk about. But he said, once you start putting it in your mind that things are going to be in a negative way, it can't help but to spill out. Again, I'm human. So I love that I have that circle, that although I'm helping other people and I'm providing guidance, that sometimes as a human that I get outside of it too and say, man, I just don't know. Or man, I don't understand this. Or man, I really don't want to speak or talk to these people. But he was able to affirm me that, hey, everything you do, speak positivity. So in the midst of that, soon as I got that call and it was like, hey, get ready to jump on. I jumped on the call and it was like, hey, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And guess what? It was a great, awesome meeting. We was able to talk about a lot of things to get us moving to another great direction. But another project that I got coming up, usually when they're talking and they've decided on projects, it's just all over. But because it was already spoken. Because past times I would say that same thing. But so happened me and him was connecting and talking and had just got through something that said, speak greatness. So I'm telling you, speak greatness. Whatever situation it is, speak greatness. Because guess what? You're still learning from something. So it's great. Whatever that situation is, it was there for a reason. So just as well, people probably be saying mental health, but that shouldn't be there for a reason. And I'm going to tell you, living witness is for a reason. But it's up to you to learn what is the reason. Past couple of years, I've been going through so much. Oh my gosh. For the close ones that know me, know I've been going through so many twists and turns, up and downs. Family members, close friends, when I started expressing, especially allowing that 2020 hit, big overload, even though I do so many different things, big overload, a job that I had been there for a century, getting laid off, going into that depression mode, feeling like no one's around, and started expressing how I was feeling, having anxiety attacks at different places. Everybody shared it away from me. They shut it away from me. They thought something was wrong with me. They began to talk about me. Although I've been that person that have been a blessing and helping everybody else, so many people show their true colors. Because I was not willing to talk about the past things that we did. I wanted to express how I was feeling. I wanted to express my mental health thoughts. And I was okay with doing it. But because I was okay with doing it, but they was afraid to talk about it because they didn't want people to know about them or think possibly they was going to be judged, they moved away. They began to say, you know what? This is for somebody else. Or you know what? Erica, you're doing too much. I get that like, you're doing too much. You're overthinking. I'm like, no, I'm not doing too much. I'm not overthinking. I'm human. I'm human. So I have anxiety. I've been through depression. And at that time I was talking to them, I'm going through depression. I'm going through some things. I'm trying to figure out what's my next destination. What's my next level of life? Although I had other things going on, but this was something that was still a pride and joy for me. And I'm expressing to these people that I believe loved, cared, and believed in me. And they begin to say, you're doing too much. You losing it. And I know many of you probably have or are suffering with that or are scared of that. And I'm going to tell you, it happened for a reason. And a lot of times when I go in group now, I always tell people, the pain gave me my purpose. Although I've been knowing, like I said, being with my background, social work and psychology, serving has always, but I found more of my purpose. And my purpose is to do what I'm doing, passing and blessing people, talking about mental health and letting them know it's okay. And making that pathway to continue to make a circle where it's all right to make the conversation about mental health is just as well as about basketball, just as well as about social media or superstar, making that it was needed. Because see, I had to go through it so I could help someone else. And many of us don't understand. I didn't understand at first either. I didn't understand why I was going through all these things out of all of a sudden. I'm like, I'm just living the luxury. I'm living the life, cars, motorcycles, all that. Then drop of a dime. So much was taken away from me. As I'm still building. I questioned what was God doing. Questioned the universe, why. I said I didn't want to do anything else that related to helping and blessing people. As you guys know, I have a youth nonprofit as well. So I was struggling with all this because in the midst of doing that, not only I have my own bills, but I'm paving and paying the way for other young adults and students to go to school, helping them out with college. And I'm like, so why is all this happening to me? And I'm helping people, Again, transparent. Some of you guys are doing that too. Probably be the helpmate in your family. You're always giving, you're always blessing, you're always reaching out to everybody else. But then you're going through a stressful moment and you're like, why me? And I say, why not you? Even that young adult that's going to look at this. Why me? I was great in elementary. I was great in middle school with basketball. Now I can't even get a starting time frame. I can't make anything. What's going on with me? This is because it's time for you to sit down and just have that self-awareness and self-awakening of who you are as a person. And what you're going through, you're going to be able to help someone else. What you're going through should be making you even more mental tough. And that was the thing with me. All the things that I've gone through and I'm growing through is making me even more mental tough so I can be able to spread the words to you guys. So I'm here putting this out here because I want you to know it is okay. You are not alone. We all have something that we have struggled or we're struggling with. And now it's time to start releasing it. Once again, I tell people, it's not that you got to be like me and go all out on social media and say, hey, all this happened. I'm not telling you that. I want to tell you that you got to do what's best for you when you are ready to do what's best for you. But I'm saying get around people. I'm saying continue to follow Coach Perry. All social media platforms. If you're not already subscribe to Talkers vs. Doers. That is my podcast on YouTube, because I see I have people on YouTube and also on Facebook. Definitely subscribe to that there. On Talkers vs. Doors, it's just what we do. We talk about doors. People that are doing things in the community. People are doing things to better themselves. Because so many people talk about it, but few actually do. So I want you to be that door. I want you to be okay with expressing yourself about what's going on with you. I want you to be that door to tell other people that they are human. Because if you're not doing it, then who? You're here for a reason. I used to always say that when I jump on other people live and I've been looking at everything and I hear that, no, you're here for a reason. Even if you clicked on for a second, it was a reason why you clicked on for this. Maybe you too have or are struggling with something, or maybe you have a friend or family member that you need to pass this word on to and tell them, okay, you are human and go get help. And it's you. They're dependent on you. Because a lot of them have already helped you in some form or fashion. Now it's time for you to sow that seed. And that's been my biggest thing. So many people bless me. Why not be a blessing to other people? Why not sow more seeds? Because they only gonna grow, and you're only gonna get better. But it's time for you to be that one in that family that's gonna stand out and say, hey, I prayed about it. I know. But I gotta do more. And be okay with family members and friends feeling like something is wrong with you. Be okay with family members and friends at some point talking about you. That is all part of the process that is needed for you to be that better version of you. You got to let some friends, especially family members, go so you can get to that next level. Like, I wouldn't be able to be here talking about the things that I'm talking about until I let some of my family members and friends. And when I tell you it hurt because it was some of my close family members and friends, as soon as I started saying some things that was going on, it was a wrap. Still now, they're saying, well, you need some medicine. Too much going on. No, it wasn't too much going on. I was just being a human. Human things happen to me. Instead of balling it up, I thought I had people that I can talk to. Because I got tired of those long nights of crying. I got tired of those nights of crying in the shower and waking up and hoping that it was another brighter day and I was still going through the same mess. So I said I have to speak about it and talk about it. And as I began to speak about it and talk about it, I found that it was more people that was going through the same thing. I found out it was more people that were scared to speak about mental health because they fear being judged. And again, I'm transparent because I'm human. As I tell you guys again, I have the background. I've helped several people, hundreds of people, youth and young adults, as a social worker and psychologist. But although I helped them, it was time for me to do even more. So I had to experience it. But they say your greatest lessons is experience. So I had to experience it. Was it good at that time? No. Was it pretty at that time? Oh gosh, no. A lot of stuff I'm still moving fast for, but it's so much better. I mean, so many doors have opened. I'm connected to so many great people. I got so many projects coming up, books coming up, and all this because I allowed myself to be vulnerable and I allowed myself to say, I am human and it's okay to talk about things. that I'm going through, I'm growing through, and I will continue to grow through. And you got to be willing to do that too. And as I said, yeah, guys, I called it Wellness Wednesday because each Wednesday I want to come in and talk about something as it relates to you emerging and elevating your mental wellness in some form or fashion. So I know I had to open up with a little background just to talk about mental health and mental wellness, stating first that it's okay. But in addition to this, if you are currently struggling with anything of that nature, please don't hesitate. Contact a crisis hotline, get your therapist or something. Never want you to leave feeling like you got to do all this on your own. Get help, contact someone. I am a mental performance coach, SEL specialist, as well as speaker. So definitely for student athletes, I will be providing and giving more to you guys what is related to mental performance. And it's also, if a subject or something you want to talk about, comment, DM me. I will be glad to speak with you and talk to you, elaborate more about this. But we're making this conversation a normal conversation. It's my duty, it's my job, and it is my purpose to help so many people to be able to do this. And before this year out, we're going to have a mental health club. I'm claiming it. I want so many people connected and feeling okay, because once you feel connected to a group, you feel that love, it advances you to want to push more. As you guys see, I'm just so excited. I get so pumped up. I was pumped up talking about this, in the field, going to school, but even much more now since I have been through that aspect. I know how it feels. I understand the long nights. I understand not wanting to eat. I understand, as I said earlier, if you have not caught it, please catch the replay, having that mask on. I know what it feels like wearing that mask every day, but it's time for you to take it off. Take the mask off and relieve it. So continue each and every Wednesday. Like I said, also, if you are not, make sure Coach Perry speaks all platforms. I want you following. I want you dropping information in my DMs just to talk about the stuff that I can, share with your friends or family members that they may be going through anything of that nature. I'm not going to shy away from anything that you guys feel, hey, this is a tough topic that I've heard people talk about or I won't talk about. I will have some speakers coming on to talk about this specific subject, as well as some of my student athletes that I'm currently working with. They the ones who really push me more to come out and talk about this. So I'm really going to be pushing it and having some of them to come on and talk about. So parents, I want to make sure that you guys are tuned in to first understand who I am and things that I've been through, to know the reason why I'm so passionate about this. But also when I start bringing a youth on and they're going to come on and talk about some things that they're going through or have struggled with, it's us to be that community to help make sure not only ourselves but our youth we're pushing in the right way. I know so many people talks about mental health and everything and about our youth and what they're going through, but the biggest thing is we have to be willing to talk to them about it too. Yes, it's a lot of things going on in our community. A lot of our violence are led and came from through mental health illness that some of our youth are struggling with, and that's because their parents struggle with it. Their parents didn't reach out to get help. Their parents didn't understand that it was more than just prayer. So now they've passed that same negative aspect to their child, and their child started dealing with it in a different way. So their child started dealing with mental health in a way of fighting or violence or stealing of that nature. And I understand some parents like, hey, yes, that's them, but I've taught them, I showed them, I gave them information. I know. Just like adults, you can't help everyone. But the ones that you can, we're going to reach and help those. Because you matter. Your mental health, your mental wellness matter. But it's up to you to make a difference and change that. So make sure you guys, you are subscribed to the YouTube channel Talkers vs. Doers. It's various different things on Talkers vs. Doers that we talk about on that podcast, including Mental Wellness Wednesday, in addition to mental game. That goes more in the aspect of the sports players, so things that they can do to help their mental game increase. and also Talkers vs. Doers. So definitely check that out. We're going to do some more shaking up on Talkers vs. Doers podcast. But as a doer, it is my job to not just talk about these things, but also show you guys ways to do better for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. I jumped on. It should have been 10 minutes, but I got so excited and started mumbling, going on and on and on. But I will be back Wednesdays in Trust and Believe. Some things may pop up, and I may just end up jumping on before Wednesdays because I know it's me. But I love you guys. I want you to know that you are human, that you matter, your voice matter, and it is okay currently if you are struggling, going through something, because it's life. But guess what? You have the power, and you have the courage, and you have the ability to make a change. But it first starts with you. Until you're ready to that change, hang around. Continue to hang around. Continue to be upon this platform of Talkers vs. Doers, because eventually you will be doing what's best for you. Love you guys. Y'all have a good one. And as always, keep growing. Y'all have a good one.